What happened to Andre Drummond, once considered one of the best rebounders in the NBA, a two-time All-Star, and a player compared to legends? But then, his career took a shocking turn. Today, we dive deep into the rise, fall, and comeback story of Andre Drummond, a journey that proves talent alone isn't enough to survive in the NBA. Early life and journey to NBA. Andre Drummond was born on August 10, 1993, in Mount Vernon, New York. From the very beginning, he stood out, not just because of his size, but because of his raw athleticism. By the time he entered high school, Drummond was already a giant on the court, dominating with rebounds, dunks, and shot-blocking ability. After one season at the University of Connecticut, Drummond declared for the 2012 NBA Draft. Scouts were divided. Some believed he could become the next great center. Others worried about his lack of polish and focus. But the Detroit Pistons took a chance, drafting him 9th overall. Drummond wasted no time proving his worth. By his second season, he was already a double-double machine, averaging over 13 points and 13 rebounds per game. Drummond was a beast inside the paint, but in the modern NBA, teams wanted centers who could shoot, pass, and switch onto guards defensively. And here was the problem. Drummond's free throw shooting was a huge weakness. At times, he shot under 40% from the line. His offensive game was limited to putbacks and dunks. Defensively, he sometimes struggled with focus and positioning. As the Pistons kept losing, critics began labeling Drummond as empty stats. Yes, he could grab 20 rebounds a night, but did it actually help his team win? By 2020, the Pistons traded him to the Cleveland Cavaliers for just a second-round pick. That's how far his value had dropped. After Detroit, Andre Drummond's career took a turn that nobody expected. Once labeled as the future of the Pistons and even one of the best big men of his generation, he suddenly found himself in a strange place, bouncing from team to team year after year. Cavaliers, Lakers, Sixers, Nets, Bulls. Almost every season brought him a new jersey, a new locker room, and a new role. For a player who had looked like a franchise cornerstone, this was shocking. Fans who once debated if he was the best center in the league were now questioning whether he even belonged in the league anymore. But through it all, Drummond refused to give up. Instead, he adapted. The Cleveland Cavaliers, Chapter. In February 2020, the Detroit Pistons traded Andre Drummond to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The shocking part wasn't the trade itself. It was what Detroit got in return, a second-round pick-and-roll players. For a two-time All-Star and rebounding leader, the return felt insulting. In Cleveland, Drummond tried to show that he still had star potential. He averaged solid numbers, still racking up double-doubles with ease. But the Cavaliers were a rebuilding team, and Drummond wasn't seen as part of their long-term future. Soon, he was benched, sitting out games as the team shifted focus to younger talent, like Jarrett Allen. For the first time in his career, Drummond wasn't just questioned. He was unwanted. The Los Angeles Lakers experiment. In March 2021, Drummond got what looked like a golden opportunity, signing with the Los Angeles Lakers. Playing alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis, fans thought this was his shot at redemption. Could Drummond finally prove his value on a championship contender? The reality was different. While he showed flashes, grabbing offensive boards, finishing lobs, he struggled to fit into the Lakers' system. His lack of spacing clogged the paint, and his defensive lapses were exposed in the playoffs. The Lakers were eliminated early, and Drummond was criticized heavily by media and fans alike. Philadelphia 76ers, a backup role. Next came Philadelphia. This time, Drummond entered with different expectations. He wasn't brought in to be the guy. Instead, he signed as a backup to MVP candidate Joel Embiid. Surprisingly, he thrived in the role. His energy, rebounding, and physical presence gave the Sixers a reliable backup center. Fans began to respect his effort. But just when it seemed he had found stability, he was traded mid-season to the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets, a short stop. In Brooklyn, Drummond had another chance to contribute on a playoff-caliber team. Playing alongside Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, he again provided size and rebounding. But with so many moving pieces in the Nets' chaotic season, Drummond never had the chance to settle in. His stint was short, another chapter in the journeyman book. Chicago Bulls, reinventing himself. By 2022, Drummond signed with the Chicago Bulls. Here, something changed. Instead of trying to prove he was still an all-star, Drummond leaned fully into being a role player. He accepted his minutes, focused on hustle, and became one of the most efficient rebounders per minute in the league. His teammates praised his professionalism. Coaches valued his energy. Even fans began to appreciate him again, not as a star, but as a veteran presence who did the dirty work. The mental battle. What makes Drummond's journeyman story powerful isn't just the jerseys he wore. It's the mental battle behind the scenes. Going from all-star to backup is never easy. For many players, pride becomes a problem. Some fade out of the league completely because they can't accept a smaller role. Drummond, however, made a choice. He embraced humility. He understood that while he might never be the franchise player again, he could still have value. He could mentor younger players, bring toughness to the court, and dominate his specialty, rebounding. This mindset shift kept him in the NBA. Redemption through adaptation. By the mid-2020s, Drummond was no longer chasing the spotlight. Instead, he was chasing rebounds, diving for loose balls, and giving his team extra possessions. His career arc turned from falling star to trusted veteran, and that's the beauty of his journey. Not every player ends up a legend like LeBron James or Steph Curry. Some players, like Drummond, leave their mark in different ways, through resilience, adaptability, and sheer determination to keep playing the game they love. The legacy of a journeyman today. Andre Drummond's legacy is complicated but unique. He may never have lived up to the superstar hype, but he achieved something just as valuable. Longevity. In a league that often forgets players the moment they're no longer stars, Drummond carved out a second career as a role player, and that speaks volumes about his character. Closing thought. From Detroit's rising star to NBA journeyman, Andre Drummond's story is a reminder that success in basketball isn't always about MVP trophies or championships. Sometimes it's about more NBA stories just like this one.